Welcome to Job Bridges Japanese Language Training Center. We provide an online tutorial for people who aspires to work in Japan. Before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to keep you updated on our lessons to help you master Japanese language in no time. Konnichiwa! Hello! Welcome to part 2 of our sentence pattern lesson 7. And again, we have with us Sedi.
Konnichiwa, minasan, Sedi desu.
Alright, so for today's topic under lesson 7 is we have a new sentence pattern. Now this sentence pattern will be useful for each and every one of us, specifically when we're saying when we are receiving something. So the sentence pattern is giver wa, receiver ni, whatever object is, o agemasu. Again, giver wa, receiver ni, object o agemasu. So verbs like agemasu, kashimasu, and oshimasu indicate imparting things or information. So they must be used with a noun saying to whom those things are or information are imparted, and the particle ni is used to denote the recipient. Now, before we start, what does agemasu means?
Agemasu means to give.
How about kashimasu?
Kashimasu means to lend.
And then lastly, oshimasu.
Oshimasu means to learn.
Alright. Now let's take a look at this example. I gave Miss Kimura some flowers. Again, I gave Miss Kimura some flowers. In Japanese, it's watashi wa Kimura-san ni hana o agemashita. Again, watashi wa Kimura-san ni hana o agemashita. Note that watashi or I am the giver, so we use the particle wa. And then for Kimura-san, it's ni because she is the receiver. Then of course, the object of the verb, which is hana, received the particle o. And then the verb agemashita, which is the past tense of to give. Wakarimashita minasan? I hope you understand this. Now, did you notice that the word watashi wa or I is enclosed in a bracket? It's because in Japanese, whenever we know that the subject is already I or watashi, we could omit that in a sentence. So how is that? Or how should you say that? Instead of saying watashi wa Kimura-san ni hana o agemashita, the conversation or the sentence can be shortened into Kimura-san ni hana o agemashita, because we already know that the subject of the verb is watashi wa or us. Is that clear? Now said, let me give you some Japanese example. So I'll be giving you the English sentences and then you'll be the one to translate them into Nihongo. Are you ready?
Hi!
Alright, let's start with I lent Miss Lee a book. Again, I lent Miss Lee a book.
Watashi wa isang ni hon o kashimashita.
Alright, watashi wa isang ni hon o kashimashita. Now, why did we use the particle ni to isang or to Miss Lee?
Because I lent the book to Isang.
Alright. Now, next sentence. I teach Mr. Yamada English. Again, I teach Mr. Yamada English.
Watashi wa Yamada-san ni ego o oishimasu.
How do you say teach again in Japanese? Can you repeat the full sentence?
Watashi wa Yamada-san ni ego o oshimasu.
Okay, very good. Now, why did we use the particle ni to Mr. Yamada or to Yamada-san?
Because Mr. Yamada is the receiver of the teaching.
Alright. And then next and last sentence. I taught Maria how to write kanji. Again, I taught Maria how to write kanji.
Watashi wa Maria sang ni kanji no kakikata o oshimasu.
Very good, Cedric. Now, note that the term how to, alright, is kata in Japanese. Like, kakikata, how to write. For other examples would be how to eat, would be tabekata, and so on. Wakarimashita minasan?
Hi, wakarimashita sensei.
Now, the next topic or the next sentence pattern in this lesson is receiver wa, giver ni, object o, moraimasu. Okay, so this is like the opposite of what we discussed earlier. Again, receiver wa, giver ni, object o, moraimasu. So verbs like moraimasu, karimasu, and naraimasu indicate receiving things or information. So they are used with a noun saying to whom those things or information are imparted. So the particle ni this time is used to denote that person who is the giver. Now, what does moraimasu means again?
Moraimasu means to give.
How about karimasu?
Karimasu means to borrow.
And lastly, naraimasu?
Naraimasu means to learn.
Alright, very good. So let me give you an example in this or for this sentence pattern. So in this one, I received some flowers from Mr. Yamada. Again, I received some flowers from Mr. Yamada. Or in Japanese, watashi wa Yamada-san ni hana o moraimashita. Again, watashi wa Yamada-san ni hana o moraimashita. Now, since we are the receiver, the particle wa is used with watashi, and then since Yamada-san is the giver, we use the particle ni with Yamada-san. And then of course, again, the object of the verb is hana, so we use the particle o. Again, this is the opposite of the first sentence pattern that we discussed earlier. Wakarimashita minasan? Wakatta ne? Now, Cedric, again, I'll be giving you some English sentence examples and you'll be the one responsible for translating them in Nihongo. Are you ready?
Hi.
Okay, first one. I borrowed CD from Karina. Again, I borrowed CD from Karina.
Watashi wa Karina sang ni CD o karimashita.
Alright. So, watashi wa Karina-san ni CD o karimashita. So, note that the watashi wa or the subject, which is the receiver, which is us, can be omitted. So, you could also answer Karina-san ni CD o karimashita, which makes the sentence shorter. Okay, next example said, I am learning Chinese from Mr. Wang. Again, I am learning Chinese from Mr. Wang.
Watashi wa Wang sang ni chugokugo o naraimasu.
Again, can you say that clearer, please?
Watashi wa Wang sang ni chugokugo o naraimasu.
Alright, so watashi wa, or he could just say directly, Wansang ni chugokugo o naraimasu. So why did we place the particle ni to wansang?
Because I received learning from Mr. Wang.
Okay, very good. Now note, okay, or remember this. We use kara instead of ni if you're receiving something from an organization like schools, company, etc. Take a look at this example. I borrowed money from the bank. Again, I borrowed money from the bank. In Nihongo, it translates into ginko kara okane o karimashita. Again, ginko kara okane o karimashita. Note that I used kara instead of ni because I borrowed money from an organization which is the bank. Wakarimashita?
Wakarimashita, sensei.
Okay, said. How about answering this question? Doko kara nihongo wo naraimasu ka? Again, doko kara nihongo wo naraimasu ka?
Jobbridge kara nihongo o naraimasu.
Very good. So he used, or take note how he used kara with Jobbridge because he received the information or the learning from Jobbridge, which is a company. Wakarimashita, minasan?
Wakarimashita, sensei.
Now, to make life or things easier for you guys, I've prepared some, what should you call this? Or what do you guys usually call this? A cheat sheet? So, I prepared the following cheat sheets so you could memorize or learn this sentence pattern. Okay, so remember, anything that goes outward is always giver wa, receiver ni, object o, agemasu, which is to give, okurimasu, to send, oshimasu, to teach, kashimasu, to lend. It could also be used to denwa o kakemasu, or to make a phone call, and whenever you want to write a letter to someone, tegami o kakimasu. Again, anything that goes outward, it's giver wa, receiver ni, object o, agemasu, okurimasu, oshimasu, kashimasu, denwa o kakemasu, and tegami o kakimasu. Now, anything that goes inward, it's receiver wa, giver ni, object o, moraimasu, which is to receive, karimasu, which is to borrow, and naraimasu, to learn. Again, it's receiver wa, giver ni, any object of the verb, moraimasu, karimasu, and naraimasu. Wakarimashita? I hope you got that. Alright, that's just it for today. See you on our next videos. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to keep you updated on our lessons so you can master Japanese language in no time.
Mata ne!